we are still in a news environment in which there are good polls, and particularly where in some states there is a gold standard pollster who appears to be unaffected by larger dynamics that are making everybody whine about the polls. And the reason those individual pollsters get the gold standard designation is both because of their proven sound methodology, but also because of their track record over time in that particular jurisdiction. And the prototypical example of a gold standard poll is the Iowa poll done by Selzer, by Ann Selzer in Iowa. The polls that she produces for the Des Moines Register in Iowa, specifically the final Iowa polls she does before each major election, her polls are known for their uncanny predictive accuracy. This is Ann Selzer's recent track record. I mean, what you see here is in each election year, what her final poll said the result would be in Iowa. Next to that is what the actual result was on Election Day. And as you can see, if you look at the Senate and presidential races since 2012, her poll has accurately predicted the winner of the Senate and presidential races in Iowa within 1 or 2 points every time. There was a governor's race in 2018 where things went a little bit gang-a-glay, but in Senate and presidential races, you have seen Ann Selzer basically as a living bullseye. And that's why lots of people had strong reactions when the Des Moines Register Ann Selzer Iowa poll was posted last night. This is that poll, and it is a shock result.
A few moments later.
First on 13 this morning, top pollster Ann Selzer announcing that she plans on retiring from election polling. The announcement comes this morning after Selzer and the Des Moines Register predicted Vice President Kamala Harris leading President-elect Trump 47 to 44% in the final poll ahead of Election Day.
Yes, Trump called to investigate this lady. We saw what happened few days to the election. This woman came out with a fake poll, which a lot of people speculate, like, was she paid to do that? The mainstream media took cover on that, like, she is winning. Kamala is winning in Iowa, according to this article, recently put out by CNN. Top pollster and to retire after bombshell Iowa poll ended in huge mess. Extremely embarrassing. Just imagine all your career, you just take up few seconds to destroy everything. I don't know what exactly actually happened. Trump just sent this out like this lady should be investigated. It is important we take an exclusive look into what is going on exactly. The announcement from Selzer comes after the register in final poll before election day deliver a bombshell result showing Vice President Kamala Harris leading Trump 47-44 among likely voters in the state, raising speculation that Harris could mount a stomach upset while other surveys had found Trump comfortably ahead of Harris in the state. Selzer poll raised Democrat hopes in the final days of the race and was widely reported by other outlets.
10 million Biden voters who decided not to vote this time, and that's directly tied to misinformation. You know, they don't like Trump, but, you know, they're thinking, well, do we really want...
Did Donald Trump not pick up more votes this time than he did in 2016?
So, pardon me?
Did Donald Trump pick up more votes this time than he did in 2016?
Yeah,
or
but not that he picked up in 2020, the most relevant last election. He picked up about the same, but 10 million.
Both sides can say things like this, like misinformation. It's hard to quantify that.
If you don't let me make my points, why do you have me on?
No, we love it. It's a conversation. It's spirited. I think there's a little bit of a delay.
We're done.
I think we'd love...
let me talk. What's the point?
Are you
the expert or am I the expert? You can question me, but you gotta let me talk.
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. The critical thing in this election were at least 10 million Biden voters who did not vote. If even half of them had voted, this election would have been different.
We hope to have you back in 4 years. There is a little bit of a delay, Professor Lichtman, so I apologize if we were stepping on each other's toe. Our intent was, of course, to listen to what you had to say. And like you said, you were wrong. But maybe in 4 years, we'll get back on track. Again, Alan Lichtman with us here on the DMV Zone. We appreciate it.
This guy is having a hard time, but I appreciate him. He's not quitting. And he's quitting. She should be able to withstand all this. be able to defend herself why she said that. When you look at this man, I've seen him on different interviews, struggling to back up reason why he's put faith. Like these pollsters, I will say this confidentially, I don't really believe in these people. Some just use speculations to do this. Now going back into this lady, take a look at this video.
Biden is about to hand the White House over to a man who incited a violent mob, who compromised our national security, who has talked about being a dictator on day one, who just made a joke about running for a third term, who has said he's going to protect women whether they like it or not, who is being followed around by a billionaire who has, Elon Musk in on his conversations with world leaders, with Zelensky, who is clearly being blackmailed by Putin, and we're just going to hand it over to this guy? We're just going to be like, well, what can you do? Peaceful transfer of power. This is not a normal election. This is not normal circumstances. We are in danger. Our lives are in danger. Our economy, our country, our world is in danger. And Democratic leadership is nowhere to be found.
My generation, Generation X, the people who grew up on WWE and Hulk Hogan and Donald Trump did this. They did this. They are the ones who looked in the face of somebody who said, I want to be a dictator on day one. We did this.
When I take a look at this lady trying to spew out these list things that I don't see to be relevant, oh, you are allowing this person to go back to the White House, our economy with the... They should wait and see what Trump would do than putting out these crazy videos. I just realized that Biden now legalized Ukraine to use long-range missiles into Russia, and World War III is training on social media. Extremely concerning. I just wish Trump should do something about this. Look at the time, 2 months to hand over. According to this tweet, Trump calls for investigation into a disgraced Iowa pollster and will release a poll showing Harris winning the state by 3 points just before Election Day. She was wrong by 16 and is now moving on to another venture. Trump released this statement, a total fake poll that caused great distrust and uncertainty at a very critical time. She knows exactly what she was doing. Thank you to the great people of Iowa for giving me such a record-breaking vote, despite possible election by Ann Caesar, and now discredited newspaper for which she works. An investigation is fully called for. Trump is putting this out because a lot of people actually were depressed that day.
But I'm going to say that it is clear that senior women are an advantage to Kamala Harris in our poll. Kamala Harris wins by more than 2-1, actually, maybe even more than that among senior women. It's a big, big spread. So I don't know. I mean, the truth of it.
In the Iowa Selzer poll, she has 47%, Trump has 44%. This is, if you're in the Trump campaign, this is a 5-alarm fire, man. This is like shit, all hands on deck. We are hurting, we are hemorrhaging at the moment. We got to do something to try to stop the bleeding, because look, let's just say it, right? Does this mean Florida truly is in play for Kamala, right? Does this mean Ohio might actually be in play for Kamala? I mean, now you begin to start having the conversations. Forget the 7 swing states we already talk about.
Look at how this man was deceived by this lady. A lot of content creation, even the mainstream media followed through. They believe what she said. Look at what he's saying here. It is over for Trump.
I'm asking is, you know that if Trump had lost this election, right now, we would be talking about the votes that are still coming in Pennsylvania and Wisconsin, and he'd be in the courts, and we would just be all in a tizzy.
Wait, hold on. Currently, Bob Casey, Democratic senator in Pennsylvania, is doing exactly what you're saying, where he's looking for all these votes and trying to, and the Bucks County commissioners are saying, we need fake ones. We need to get all the ones that are unregistered.
No, they're just counting them.
I don't know if Big Maha is aware of what is happening on social media. Democrat doing things that is even worse than that.
One theory that a lot of people seem to be coalescing around. They were too woke, insisting that people use the term Latinx.
You have to say they. No, you have to do this.
Stop with the virtue signaling.
Step away from woke. Focus less on who is woke and more on who is broke.
I'd never seen that.
I saw so many liberals getting super excited every time Kamala had a new celebrity endorsement. But we all know for a fact that these celebrity endorsements are not free.
Oh, is it true that they paid you $1 million for the endorsement for Kamala?
Not true.
Now it's time to unite everybody.
I want you to know what would change after doing this.
Comes out against Trump.
I don't care if they write that.
So, with that, I'm going to shake it off.
Figure out a way to say thank you.
That guy's name, he's such an absolute prick. I can't stand him. But anyway.
Hey there. Not doing great.
Terrible night last night. It was a terrible night.
What will the rest of us be doing on day one?
Bishop Vigano, he says that the...
I'm sure. I also want to say